Mom deserves the best, and there's no better place to shop for Mother's Day than Whole Foods Market. They're your destination for unbeatable savings, from premium gifts to show-stopping flowers and irresistible desserts. Start by saving 33% with Prime on all body care and candles. Then get a 15-stem bunch of tulips for just $9.99 each with Prime. Round out Mom's menu with festive rosé, irresistible berry chantilly cake, and more special treats. Come celebrate Mother's Day at Whole Foods Market.
Is it really being recorded, Courtney? I don't know if I can trust anything anymore.
Motherfuckers, everything's being recorded. That's
true. Well, hello.
Even when we don't press record, that's
being
the crazy
recorded.
part. We're still being recorded.
How are you, Courtney?
That is an interesting question.
Well, this is I'ma let you finish.
Yeah.
Obviously, you know that because
Yeah.
you're here, but we figured we'd just say it anyway.
How am I? I'm still anxious. I'm still anxious. And I was very happy for the result yesterday, but to me that was just one piece of it's one battle in a very large war. So I celebrated that when I couldn't believe I cried. I can't.
All right.
I'm sure everybody just knows. We're talking
about the
George Floyd, Derek Chauvin.
Right.
I just found myself in here. I was playing records. Well, at first, because I hit you when I got the prompt on my phone. I saw it. I was like, oh shit, here it goes. I just started a little mini DJ set live on Twitch. I was playing some music. I was feeling good. That prompt came up. And immediately everything just went to shit.
Well,
my anxiety went to 100.
Can I just add, for those of you playing at our at-home game, yesterday also was Courtney's national holiday, 420 Day.
Yes, it was. And I got. Here's the thing. And I was focused, kids. I was focused. I got up really early in the morning.
Got really high early.
No. Here's the thing. This is how you have to do it. I got up really early in the morning. I ran all the errands I needed to run throughout the neighborhood. I did all my email shit. All the work shit I needed to do was done by 11:30.
Excellent.
And then it was like, okay. I grabbed my medicated nerd rope that I've been saving for this special occasion.
I don't even know what that means.
And my Jack Harrow joint that was sitting next to me.
Oh, my God.
My nerd rope. I start playing music, then I get that fucking prompt. Immediately my anxiety went to like, okay. Now, we've seen this before where we think it's going to go the way most people would think it would go.
Right.
I was so worried that if it did not go in a direction of guilty, that I felt like the streets of every major city in this country were going to be on fucking fire. And so it took my nerves all the way up.
Well, I will say something, and obviously, we've seen this movie before, and it does speak to the injustice in the world, that it literally takes someone killing someone on camera before people believe it. But I will say that
we've seen people killed on camera before. I guess the length that I'm going to say the 9 minutes of it all, because if it had been 2 minutes and he died, I don't know if the result would have been the same. I think the 9 minutes plus of it all was just one of those things that's hard to explain away.
All right. But, okay, what I was going to say, and that's true, I, like you, was waiting for the verdict, and I suddenly got an alert from one of the schools I teach at, one of the colleges I teach at, which is in downtown Brooklyn. It's across the street from Borough Hall. And they said in an abundance of caution, because we are, and they are very sent out prayers. I mean, they are very much on the side of this verdict, saying we are canceling all in-person classes for the foreseeable, for the rest of the week. And this is before the verdict came out. And then I started hearing the helicopters, because I live near the Barclays Center, which has become the Tiananmen Square of Brooklyn somehow. So I started hearing the choppers, and I was like, oh, fuck, please. And then the verdict came in, and I heard selective cheering. And yeah, it was a big, and exactly as you said, I mean, this is a fantastic victory. But this is, nobody should get too skipped to Malou, my darling, about this with people. Justice is work. Yeah, it worked it did work. It worked this time. Like every 400 years, we get it right. Okay. So let's see what happens with the other officers.
Because we have a lot of work to do. This is one
small
blip.
And thank God Trump wasn't president when this happened. And the DOJ this morning is opening up an investigation into, let's put it this way, this was such an egregious crime that even Fox was saying it was the correct verdict. So that's how you know. When Jeanine Pirro only starts her day drinking at 6 o'clock in the afternoon instead of 4 o'clock in the afternoon and agrees. But we're very glad, the bravery and the bravery it took for the witnesses to come forward. A lot of people might not have the bravery of the young woman, the young girl at the time who took the video, who had the presence of mind to post it. Let's hope, I don't think it's going to be overnight change. Obviously, this is systemic racism, but thank God we have a president who said the word systemic racism, so.
Bigger than that, I want to thank those police who got on the stand.
Oh, yeah, that's what I'm saying, the witnesses.
Time we have seen, that I can remember, breaking that blue wall of silence to say, this ain't it.
Right.
That ain't it. That's not what we do. That's not it.
Yeah, the witnesses. I mean, it took a lot of courage.
And that young man, and I really feel for that young man who originally called the police. The young man at the convenience store.
I feel bad for him.
Because, he, like all of this is just,
survivor's guilt.
And everything that's just been happening there, and then we have with, Dante right up the street, and just this is, I think I've said it to you before when I said I really do feel hunted. And I don't feel like, I think yesterday was a big moment, but there's so many cases across this country. We have so much work to do. And how about we have to talk about policing. People need to stop saying police like police are not human beings. Human beings come with a variety of shit, even police. So we need to stop acting like they should not have an oversight. You cannot give people, as you saw with a Trump type, absolute power with no oversight. It just does not work. People keep acting like, just they're not human beings. They say police like there is a special breed of people who are not humans, who are not subject to having certain kinds of energies and days and just doing bad shit. Right. And the problem that we have seen, and we saw it again this time, was we have seen police reports that say one thing, and then video shows a completely different scene. And we have to talk about that honestly, and people have to stop. Listen, my father was a cop. I grew up I have, cousins in law enforcement. I come from a law enforcement family, a lot of military in my family. I know what a good cop is. I know what a bad cop is. And you can't protect both. And that's the thing that drives, I think, a lot of us black people nuts. It's like, we've been saying the same thing so long. Why do you think we're lying? And why does it take a 9-minute plus video for people to say, oh, wow, look, this is happening? We've been telling you it's happening for so long. It is time for you to start believing people. It's like we've been saying the same thing when it comes to policing. I just saw a video recently of some white man who hit a police officer with a car, dragging a police officer. And they all had guns. They did not shoot. A black person, if you get behind the wheel of the car, you are shot. It's crazy. It's crazy. We need all of us to stand together and be like, enough is enough. Because what people don't understand is You can ignore a lot of stuff all you want, but it will eventually end up at your doorstep, whether you want it there or not. Because eventually, you go through all of the people you're trying to get rid of, you're trying to get rid of them. That doesn't change people's energies. The shit you're trying to avoid will end up at your doorstep. It just will. You know, I thank you, Amy, for always, you know, being a person who stands on the front line and screams about shit that's not right. It's crazy,
you
man.
know, I mean,
crazy.
you know, I think I am, you know, and then you know, this is a continuing conversation, and actually the next thing we're going to talk about certainly feeds into that. But yeah, I mean, this is a blow for justice, and it's like, you know, when we know that things have changed is when we no longer have to say this is a blow for justice. It's like, you know, when this is consistent, when we don't have to say only the one black president or only the one woman doing this, when this is a continuous thing. So we're gonna, you know, but let us definitely savor this. Let us be grateful for this. Let us send our thoughts, or however you do it, to the victims across the country, and let's see what happens. So I am hopeful, but reasonably cynical. I think you have to be hopeful and cynical at the same time.
Absolutely, I'm with you. With
yeah,
that,
I think you have to. All right, so we we have a mayoral election coming up in New York City. Now here's so I was at a neighbor's house last night, which was actually like the first time I've been around a large group, or about 10 people, of vaccinated people. We were outdoors. It was kind of refreshing. And I said to these people, these are all, you know, Brooklynites, good politics, black people, Hispanic people, Asian people, all sorts of every type. And I said, so who are you guys voting for in the election? And to a person, everyone, I don't know. I haven't even been paying attention.
Right. Right.
Nobody's been paying attention.
No.
So there are a lot of candidates. I actually have the list of the ones, but unanimously, well, so, all right, so here are the main dudes and dudettes who are running. Eric Adams, who is doing very well.
You have the top 12, right? Because these are the ones who made the ballot. Yeah.
So you have Eric Adams. This is the Democratic primary, and this year is the first year where you have ranked voting to make it even more confusing. So we have Eric Adams, who's actually high up. He's the current Brooklyn Borough president. You have Sean Donovan. I don't know. He's something. A former head of Office of Management and Budget. So who cares? I mean,
he's going to keep saying, whose commercial just says Obama? Obama called him.
Well, yeah,
going. Obama said.
So, I mean, he's got cred in the sense, all right, you know, he's held a job in government before, which is good. Catherine Garcia, who also has fantastic credentials, used to head the Housing Authority, used to head New York City Sanitation, knows how government works. Raymond McGuire.
Was she the head of New York Housing Authority?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, then
she used to work in environmental protection, you know, has done the work, very good politics, Latino woman. Okay, Raymond McGuire, who is spending more money than God on commercials, who has all the support of Jay-Z and whatever.
Well, he's the only one out of all of them. He's taking money from big corporations, so we're seeing all those commercials because he's getting big money. My
friend, who used to work for Citibank, said, I've never heard of this guy. Nobody knows who this guy, like literally nobody knows who this, nobody knows, all right, let me just go. And he also has like the great, you know, he's just, I don't want to know.
Go through the list so we can talk
Diane Morales, who may have dropped out by now. Scott Stringer, who has just got the endorsement of the UFT, United Federation of Teachers, huge. He is the controller of New York City. He's somebody who goes after people, which is nice. Former state assembly, but he's Manhattan, so people out of the boroughs haven't been paying attention to him.
No, at all. They don't know who Scott is.
Yeah, now that he's the controller, but he was the borough president, I didn't know who he was. Maya Wiley, who was a talking head on MSNBC, very smart, accomplished, has worked as in the council, used to be on the Civilian Complaint Review Board. And Andrew fucking Yang, who nobody can, okay, here's what I need to say about Andrew Yang. Now, if Andrew Yang was a woman with the complete in his complete lack of qualifications for being mayor, he would never be in this position because
he's only in the league because nobody's paying attention yet.
Right, and he has name value.
He's never even voted on any shit in New York. He's never voted here, and he was one of those people who's like, well, as soon as the pandemic happened, he left. Or then it's like,
right.
We'll get back to it. Wait,
he said, that's it. That's
no,
it.
because there's another name you forgot because I'm looking at the 12 on the ballot.
Who?
Somebody named Paperboy Love Prince.
Oh, no, those are the people. We're not, rapper. These are the kids.
No, but he's on the ballot. Read all the names. We have 12 people who were confirmed.
Art Chang, Andrew Fontenera, Paperboy Love Prince, Jocelyn Taylor. He's a rapper. Whatever. I'm a rapper, too. He ran for something in 2020. Isaac Wright Jr., and then a lot of people have withdrawn. And then there were about 20... where's the rent is too damn high guy?
Well, now that the rents are falling, but now that the rents are falling, his scam, that doesn't work anymore. And
there's a lot of people who decided not to run, an interesting collection of people, including Train Daddy. Train Daddy was asked to run. I would have voted. You loved him. You completely. I love Train Daddy. I love Train Daddy.
But Cuomo, with his dick self, ran him out of town.
I love Train Daddy. Well, anyway, so here's the thing. So we have an election coming up. It's obviously a hugely and what really bothers me.
With a lot of shit. Remember, we have the DA race. That's a big one, and all of these council seats. This year, for all of the New Yorkers, we've been through so much. No one's paying attention to anything, and we have really important races coming up in the next two elections.
That's why Yang, because he has named out. But the thing with Andrew Yang is, to be really honest with you, and again, he seems like fun, but I don't want the mayor of Brotopia. Okay, he seems like a guy who has a kegger. He wants to put one of his proposals was to put gambling on Governor's Island. I guess he doesn't know that New York City doesn't own Governor's Island, number one.
Right. That lets you know how much he does not know about New York. And just when they were like, do you like the Knicks or the Nets? He was like, the Nets, because the Knicks have been losing too much. I'm like, you're trying to be the mayor of New York, dude.
New York.
You don't pick, you just
say I like basketball.
As soon as we start the debates and you realize how much you just walked into New York and you decided I'm going to run here. And I should like him, right? He checks a lot of boxes for people. But I don't like this dude. I don't like him.
No, he's kind of a fraud. I mean, to be honest with you, he has no policies. He's not really that progressive, though New York City, ultimately, we yell and scream about progressive, and then we usually end up with someone, we usually end up with someone sort of middle of the road.
Right.
But he's just he's never held office. No. He's never voted in New York City.
No.
I mean, come on. He's complaining about that during the pandemic. I mean, he can leave that. How can we stay in a 2-bedroom apartment during a pandemic? Give me a break. So the thing is, I know people are all in love with, I don't want a politician. Well, you know what? If I'm going to the dentist, as I am today, I don't want someone who says, you know what, I've never actually been a dentist, but I love the way teeth look.
Right.
No, I want you to be a freaking, if I'm on a plane, I don't want someone who says, I loved airplanes. Right. That was a great movie.
That is my favorite thing when people are like, I don't want him. She's been a career politician. I'm like, okay, so
good.
When you go on a flight, do you want that person? Who's your pilot? Well, last week I was watching a movie and I
watched Airplane. Yes,
I played a fighter on Fortnite. So what I decided was I could fly the plane today. It's like nobody wants to hear that. It's like, I want somebody, especially, here's the thing. It seems real. First of all, nobody really wants to be the mayor of New York. It's one of the most unglamorous jobs because even if we like you, people start hating you 10 minutes in because New York is
the second hardest job in America.
It's like the pull and push of all of the different directions of New York. You immediately realize the fuckery you've gotten yourself into. But I don't know, girl. Like, these races are so important. I need to get into my
well, there is ranked voting, but I will say, and there's a lot of people running for city councilman, and the Democratic Socialists are making big inroads in this city, which I like. But I will say this. I think once we start seeing, debates, that'll make a huge difference. And I also do think, when people talk about career politicians, there is a difference between being a career politician, capital C, capital P, and someone who knows their shit. I mean, being a politician is a skill set. And I can't imagine Andrew Yang walking into a room and being able to negotiate because he's never done it. He is not a tech giant. We've been sold this bill of goods that he's this multi-million. No, he's not. He's never done anything. And I think that he doesn't understand the city. There's living here, and even though Scott Stringer is not someone who's been on my radar, I gotta say, the man has done the work. And he has shown himself. He went up against de Blasio time after time after time. Right. So I am leaning, I would probably vote Stringer, Adams, Maya Wiley, not necessarily in that order, and that would be my votes, those three people. And Catherine Garcia. I think those are the four people I am definitely voting for.
Well, there's like the that DA race is a big one too. Because
yeah, but that's different. We're in different boroughs. I don't know. Yeah, right. We're in different boroughs. So I mean, Brooklyn has its own, and the Brooklyn one isn't up this year. Eric,
I keep forgetting that.
Yeah, we have totally different boroughs. It's city council this year because most of them are term limited out this year.
Right.
So it's city council. I haven't seen anything about. There's a lot of judges.
Well, I'm going for Alvin Bragg. Bragg.
I don't know who that is.
I like him.
And I'm voting for. I think I'm voting for Michael Holdsworth. But there's a lot of engagement. I mean, I will say that city council is super important. That's where
that's where all of the real shit comes down.
Tish James, who is now the Attorney General, was my city councilwoman for years.
That's where, if you're worried about the licenses for vendors in your neighborhood, if you're worried about, the developer who's building some shit around the corner, all of that, and your zoning, those small races are the ones. So I have to get into all of that.
Yeah, we have to look. Let's in our defense, okay. And like I said, I was with a group of highly, like the way our friends are, highly engaged, intelligent. New Yorkers who, multicultural, blah, 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 blah. And to a person, everyone's like, oh, no. And in our defense, we have been sort of dealing with other things.
Yeah.
I mean, we can really sort of count on two hands the time we socialize with each other. So we will, once we start investigating, once the debates start. But Courtney, I just want to talk about an election I think is way more important when you think about it. So, Courtny, how long have I had this fucking Rock and Roll Hall of Fame ballot in my hand?
God. You've had it for a while, and are you still torn on the last two?
Yeah, okay. All right. It's due May 3rd, and the way that the mail is going these days, I may have to walk to Cleveland.
No,
okay.
You need to get it out.
Today. I'm doing it today.
Really do.
All right, so here's the deal. So the other day, I was on our friends, Who Cares About the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame podcast, and these guys are hilarious. They know more about the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame than anybody, and they have great taste, and they're really fun. And okay, so here's my done. See, I'm starting to be strategic because I'm definitely voting for Tina, but then I'm thinking she's a lock. Maybe I need to move my vote elsewhere.
No, because a bunch of people will do that, and then
nothing's a lock, and then not.
That's the thing. When you think that, because other people are, oh well, she's a lock, so I can do this.
Right.
The votes go away.
All right, so Tina Turner for sure, Shaka Khan, because, I mean, come on. I have to vote the New York Dolls because they mean something to me emotionally, spiritually. No, I'm definitely voting for the Dolls, and I know that's a lost cause. My cat just stopped can you hear me? My cat just stopped. She just stepped. Spoonie was registering her disgust. All right, so up until, and then I was going to vote the Go-Go.
Spooney's been making appearances for the last couple of shows. I think Spoonie needs a mic.
No, Mike, she does. Well, Spoonie needs so much. But, okay, so I was torn between the combination of New York Dolls and LL or New York Dolls and Fela. Fela is really, but wait, something's changed.
Uh-oh.
Something's changed. Our friends at Who Gives a Shit About the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, whatever it's called, have begged me to vote for Dionne Warwick.
Oh, You should
Can I
absolutely
live with
vote
that?
for Dionne Warwick.
All
Absolutely.
right. So I can, because I think it would be, first off, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is admittedly terrible with black people. I mean, in terms of induction, especially when they're alive. Admittedly terrible with women, especially when they're alive. How fucking dope would it be to have an all women over the age of 50 ballot and the New York Dolls? You think I should do that?
Yes.
Okay, then I'll do it. Because LL, you know what, if LL gets in, they'll figure out a way of putting him in. Fela is a long shot. It'll make me look cool and virtue signaling, but all right, and you know, you and I have discussed this. Dionne was not on our bingo card at all.
No, but I play, you know what? I realize I have a lot of Dionne Warwick music, and I play her a lot.
Yes,
So,
you
know, she's really fierce, and she deserves it. And, like, you think about who Dionne Warwick was, and that career, and then to have that part 2 and come back in the 80s.
Right.
And be even more famous and have more hits. So she absolutely deserves it.
And her Twitter game is fucking fierce right now.
And those songs still stand up. You put on Dionne Warwick, her voice sounds like lush velvet. It's
gorgeous.
amazing.
And when you think about it, you know, because now that we've gotten over this bullshit, it's not rock and roll. You know what? She's as rock and roll as Whitney in a lot of ways. I mean, Whitney wasn't a rock and roll.
She was the Whitney. She
of
was
course.
the Whitney of her day.
No, of course, and literally, because the same bloodline. So, all right, I'm going to do it, and they'll be really happy. They'll be happy, and maybe they'll send us a fruit basket or something. Because I have the New York...
like an edible arrangement basket. I do.
Emphasis, in your case, it's emphasis on the edible.
Yes.
I got to do Go-Go's, too, because, I mean, there's no...
Listen,
I mean, an all-girl band, come on.
The Go-Go's deserve it because
great music.
They're
great music.
Fucking Go-Go's. They may have been only a few albums, but boy, did they make an impact on those few albums. You know what I'm saying? And their moment was hot, and they did that shit, and they deserve it.
Well, I think that Carole King will get in, but on your prodding, I did have a sort of reckoning about Carole King, and I'm getting beat up about it, but I had to start really thinking. I mean,
to me, Carole King is in for what she did best in her songwriting, and she's already in. I love her as a singer, but an album, Tapestry, I don't think she should be. Listen, I think she should be in, but if you want her to be in as a singer, she has time for that because she's already in. Yeah. There are other women who need that spot because she's actually, again, Carol is in for the thing that she did the best, which was her songwriting. Her pen game is amazing, and that was honored. Yeah,
I know. All right. I have to send it out today and pray that it doesn't become an all dopey white man contingent. And then we were thinking of who's going to induct who, so that'll be fun. All right. Talking about, this is a complete worst segue ever. Okay. The Knicks, baby.
We have a dynasty.
We have a dynasty. Okay, why can I never find these goddamn games?
Okay, because you have to know where they are. You know, they're all over the place. Like, for this past weekend, first of all, we haven't had national games for so long. We've been so bad that we lost our Christmas game. The Knicks used to be the first game on Christmas. They were always the noon game.
That's right. I've been to that game, too.
That game is still played. But it is not televised nationally anymore.
No.
I bet you next year it returns because it's good again. You know what I mean? Because that's just like, when we lost that last year, I gagged. I was like, you suck so much that they have taken the Christmas game.
They've taken our Christmas game. I went to that Christmas game.
That's such a special game. You know what I mean? But listen, Julius Randle is doing his thing. This is what's going to be fierce. The fact that right now, they are in 5th place in the East. If they get to 4th place, they will have home court advantage in the first round of the playoffs, which will be amazing for New York.
Who's in first place, the Celtics?
No, we're in front of the Celtics.
Oh, good. Thank God.
I think it's Philadelphia. Hold on, let me check right now.
Where are the Nets? Where are the Nets?
No, they're up there. They're up there. But the thing is, I'm just... What bodes well for the Knicks is this offseason we are going to get a free agent to come here now.
Right.
And that missing piece is going to take the Knicks over the top.
You think it'll be Zion? You think it'll be Zion?
No, I don't know if it'll be him yet. I think he's fine, and that's great, but I think it's going to be, I don't know yet. I don't know.
Well, you know what's good about this?
I don't know if the Pelicans are just going to be like, come on, Zion, leave.
Yeah, we'll leave. We don't need you anymore. Right.
If he leaves, their shit's done. They're not just going to let him walk out the door.
Well, we also have a team where it's not like superstars. These are just fucking guys who can play, basically. Well, I know, the tide has turned when I was wearing a Knicks shirt that I got at that swag bag where I gave you the hat.
76ers are number 1, the Nets are number 2, the Bucks are number 3, the Hawks are number 4. Baby, wow. The Knicks are number 5.
Nice. Well,
the Celtics are 6, the Heat is 7, the Hornets 8, Pacers 9, the Bulls 10, the Wizards 11, the Raptors 12, the Cavs 13.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, I was saying that I know the tide has turned for one, and I live in Brooklyn. When I was wearing my Knicks T-shirt the other day, and I went out, and I was stopped by middle-aged black men going, "Oh yeah, man, we're doing great this year." That's when the tide has turned. People are back. They're appreciating. But I can never find the games because whenever I go on MSG, it's blacked out. I don't know where it is, so I'll have to just investigate.
Yeah, this weekend, 2 games. I couldn't believe 2 games were on TV. I was like, oh wow, y'all have put 2 games on nationally or the Knicks. Like,
so
wow.
ESPN
has games on.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'll know when they are.
Friday night when they played the Mavericks, that was the Friday night game, and they got the 1:00 game on Sunday on ESPN.
Oh, woo, Sookie. Mm-hmm. We got the 1:00 game.
Listen,
can the MLK Day game be far behind? I can hardly wait.
Let me just say, I'm ready for my Knicks to show people that, listen, I'm not a fair weather fan. If I'm your fan, I'm your fan. I'll be mad as fuck at you when you're fucking up, but I am a fan. It's like my singers. If I like right now, I have unfollowed Madonna on everything because she is so ridiculous. I love Madonna. Madonna comes out with an album, goes on tour. I'm there, but I'm not going to watch you do this ridiculous show that you're doing because it's ridiculous.
Yeah, HRT is a hell of a drug. It really is.
You know what? I always say this. Sometimes there really is karma in the universe, right? Because the truth of the matter is, she's not been the nicest person to
She's
people,
mean. We've said this.
And for a very long time. And I've seen her in person kind of be rude and just been like, wow, you're kind of straight up rude, which is really incredible as much as you've been given. And I think that her karmic shit in the universe is, yes, you will always be Madonna. And I don't think she'll be fully appreciated until she's gone. Then, when people die, then everybody looks at all the stuff you've done and it's all that. But when I watch her just being ridiculous now and people just stomping her own legacy, it's like, that's your penance for how you treated people, I think, a little bit. Because the one thing I can say about most of my clients, and I will say this about the biggest one of them all, she's the nicest person on the planet. She's the nicest person on the planet to people. And she's really, listen, she's a tough boss, but she's a really nice person. And she doesn't treat people like shit the way I've watched Miss Thing. I've watched Miss Thing be so rude and it's kind of just jarring that lack of even self-awareness about it. It's just kind of straight up bitchy and whatever.
I like how we segued from like young black men running up and down the court to Madonna, because there is a connection when you think about it.
Actually, Dennis Rodman. Remember the whole vibe thing? Remember that?
Yeah.
Who got fired for that? Remember that? Somebody that?
Yeah. Someone did.
Was that when Jonathan got out?
No, Jonathan Van Meter, who I love. I don't know, but that was hilarious. What was I going to ask you? Who are you listening to him? I know you're always like scoring the amazing records at Cinderblock. Shout out to Cinderblock.
Oh my God! Wait a minute. No, let me just
anything you're looking at?
No, I got to shout out to Pat because he just put me in a coma this weekend. He put me in a coma, a motherfucking coma. So I come in the shop and I'm like, "Oh hey Pat, what's going on? Hey, how you doing?" And all of a sudden he's like, "Oh well, I have these things," and it's Everything But the Girl, Coolies, Shaka Khan, bunch of Brandy remixes, Britney Spears, I'm a Slave for You. I died on the floor. They had to call 911. because I was
Wow.
dead. I was dead. So I woke back up and I came home with a stack of records, and I have been in a full. So I haven't even listened to anything new because I've been in a full Thunderpuss, I'm a Slave for You, Everything But the Girl, Temperamental, Shaka Khan, Love You All My Lifetime, K-Ho.
Okay, Kale. Yeah, I haven't been really. I've been just. There's nothing that has come out this week that I'm super paying attention to right now. I'm still kind of. I was playing this like playlist on Spotify, the 1971 playlist, and I was like, wow. I was figuring out how old I was in 1971, and listening to stuff. But no, I haven't really. Again, listening to a lot of. I've been listening to. Station to station, like every day, because it's a great record, and not much of anything. I've just been, listening to the voices in my head.
And I listen to KCRW a lot, so I just listen to to whatever's going on there, and Eclectic 24, and then all those guys. So I always have a lot of shit in the background. But really, I've just been listening to a lot of the records that I've been getting this week. Just getting inspired and thinking about stuff for the show. And I have a couple of DJ sets coming up. So and then I'm gonna spin on vinyl. So I've just been kind of getting prepared for that.
I wish you could see this right now. Spoonie is now climbing onto my lap, positioning herself. All right, Spoon, sit down. There she goes.
I love that she has been making show appearances. Like, what's going on?
She comes to my classes too. I'm thinking that she might be bummed because I canceled my morning class today because I just needed a mental health day, and she was like, "But I did all the papers. Why are I turned in the work." She's one of my best students. She turned in the work, and now she's coughing the mic. All right. We just want to again say that thank you guys for tuning in. Please, tell them, give them the spiel because you're so much better at it than I am.
Hi guys. Remember, you can always follow us on Twitter at Finish Ima, on Facebook at ImmaLetYouFinish, one word, on Instagram at ImmaLetYouFinish NY, and follow Listening Party Presents on IG. Follow us on IG. Really come to us on Facebook. We're there a lot. And I'm sure you remember to rate us, leave a review. We're on SoundCloud. We're everywhere. We listen. We talk. We actually answer back.
We're running for mayor, aren't we?
We're running for mayor. Our Twitter is funny. Our Facebook's hilarious. And, you won't find any Oprah, Meghan Markle, or Prince Harry there. So you'll be very happy.
Yeah, we are Oprah
We're officially
free.
over those conversations.
We are officially over those conversations between you, me, and the lamppost. Some of us were never that into those conversations, but now we're officially done.
And may I just say one more thing? Demi Lovato, take 5 fucking seats.
And yeah. We need to go into that in depth. Yeah, Demi Lovato,
5
stop.
fucking seats.
Yeah,
and
please.
Shut the fuck up.
Yes.
You are doing the most.
Yeah, when you're attacking froyo shops, that's a desperate cry for help.
I said this to you before, and I said, it's the same way I feel. People who sell you, whose issues become part of their career, and so they're selling you that. I feel the same way about that as I do about people getting their information from people whose job it is to hold the microphone and sing and rap. We need people, get your information from other places. And I'm so sorry that you were triggered by diabetic candy.
Oh, God.
But,
I can't eat. Yeah.
Amy, I'm telling you.
Is that the hill? Yeah.
I'm trying to be a better person. I'm trying to be a better bitch.
No.
I'm trying to be a better bitch.
It's like, come on.
Me back to country, Courtney.
I can hardly wait. I can hardly wait for Demi Lovato versus halal food truck.
You know what I'm saying? Because that's what it's going to be.
What do you mean it's halal? What do you mean you killed the animal?
She's going to be like, I got there and they asked me if I wanted sauce. Do you know how offensive that is? It's offensive.
Oh, bless her heart. And on that note, bye, guys.
See you next week. Bye.
Bye.
It's NFL draft season, and that means it's time to start thinking about fantasy football. FantasyPoints.com features industry-leading experts and prognosticators using proprietary hand-charted data to help you score more fantasy points. FantasyPoints.com is the place to go for whatever kind of fantasy football you play. Whether you play fantasy football, daily fantasy sports, or do a little bit of everything, Fantasy Points has the meticulously researched content to guide you to victory. And why wait for the fall? Fantasy Points also covers the new spring football league, the UFL. Join the guru, John Hansen, Scott Barrett, Joe Dolan, and other massive names in the fantasy football universe with an exclusive offer. Use code Pantheon for 15% off any Fantasy Points package, including the all-in package, with access to every article, tool, and data nugget that Fantasy Points has to offer. That's FantasyPoints.com and code Pantheon for 15% off at Fantasy Points. FantasyPoints.com, code Pantheon. Score more fantasy points.